Good morning, and thank you for attending my class. So the first thing is if you type into your Google search, you're going to type in Google Timer. And this is just a way to keep on track. It's kind of like an online timer for you. So if you're working on a project or doing something, you can set the timer and then make sure that your speakers are on, and it will kind of just sound the alarm whatever time you stop it to. And so I like to use this, say if I have a deadline or if I want to work on more than one project. So Google Timer is a quick little app that I like to use throughout the day. My second thing is what we're going to do is go ahead and log into your ACC email, and I will show you different little tricks that we've used. I know a lot of people have come from Microsoft Outlook and we've switched over to Gmail. So a lot of changes have been made in Google since we started using it. So I'm going to show you a couple of tricks here within your email that you'll be familiar with. And so the first thing I want to show you is if you go over into your tab. So if you go over into your settings, it's my little wrench that I call it, and you click on your settings and go all the way down to settings, it opens up all these options that you have behind the scenes. And so the first tab that I want to show you guys is under your general tab. And under your general tab, this is basically showing you how your screen or how your Gmail will look. And so the first one that I like to use is maximum page size. Maximum page size is basically going to show you how many emails are on your page. And so I like to set mine at 50. But if you click on the drop down box, you can have it up to 100 conversations or emails per page. And so anything that I'm showing you within this screen, make sure that you hit the Save Changes button at the bottom. Otherwise, the things that you click on won't go into effect. And so the first one, like I said, is your maximum page size. And if you go back to your inbox here on the left-hand side and you click on it, it will show the maximum emails that you want to see in your inbox. And so we're going to go back to our settings. And if you ever want to know how to get to your contacts, you'll go to the left-hand side again under Mail, and there's a little drop box. And you'll click on that, and it gives you your contact options. And so you can change the way you want to see those as well. The next favorite that I like to use is Undo Send. I know a lot of people send emails out, and they're sending emails, they may get distracted, and oh, I forgot to send an attachment, or I misspelled something. And so when you're composing an email, let's just try to do a sample here, and you can send one to yourself. You can just label it test and just say, hey, I forgot to send the attachment. So when you press send, if you click on that undo send at the very top, you'll get a pop-up message that says undo. And so what it does is it brings the email back, so you have time to insert that attachment or make the corrections that you need to. But the only thing is, if you go back to your settings, the maximum time that they give you is 30 seconds. The other option that I like to use is your default reply behavior. I like to personally keep mine on reply. I think reply all can sometimes get people in trouble. So I like to keep mine to the reply option. But anything that I show you in here is going to be your own personal preference. You can just make your own personal changes in here. The next thing is your default text style, and that's just how you want your emails to look, whether it be their font, the size, and the color. Conversation view, I like to keep mine off only because I like to see an email come in as a new email. if you keep your conversation view on, so let's click on, and then make sure you go to the bottom and you're going to save your changes. I'm going to show you an example of what it will look like. If you stroll down here at the bottom, it'll group every single email that you have with the same subject. It'll group those emails together when you have the conversation view on. I don't like it because I feel like I could miss an email that comes in, so I like to keep mine on the opposite end. It is good for if you have, say that my position, I work with Title IX and Title VI, and so if I am have a bunch of emails, it's easier when it's time to print out if I have it on conversation view versus the conversation view off. So like I said, it's all your personal preference on how you want it to be. So let's go back into our settings, and I'm going to click mine back off because I'll forget that. The other one that I like to use are my stars. And if you click on your stars, if you see this little arrow or cross, you can move these around and have them in any order that you want. My favorite color is purple, so I like to keep mine that pertain to me in purple. My supervisor, her favorite color is red, so I use red for her. If I have a question about something, or the green check mark, if that means I've completed that project, or exclamation point, that's just saying that it's urgent, that I need to take care of it right now. Again, you can move all these around, and what it does is, let's go back into our inbox, and I can show you. If you click on the star, and then you'll see whatever order that you put those in, those are the orders that it's going to come in. And so you can click on those and have those there. Okay. And then let's go back into our settings. And the next one is going to be your out of office and your signature. And I think we've all pretty much gotten used to that by now with using Gmail. So you'll set on your vacation, you'll set your signature up, and then remember just to make sure that you save changes before you go on to the next thing. So the next tab that we're going to go into under your settings is going to be labels. And if you click on your labels, these are basically what I like to call as folders, but they've changed the title to labels. So these are all the folders that you have in your inbox, or that you've created. So you have your starred, your important, your drafts, spam, and then different folders that you have. The categories came up as something new just recently. I believe it was maybe a year ago or so. I like to hide all of mine because it really doesn't pertain to me. So you have the option of showing it, or you have the option of hiding it. And if you look on the left-hand panel under your compose option, you have the option to show these or hide these. And as you can see, I have very little that I can see, and pretty much the rest of them I have is hidden. So that way it doesn't look crowded to me. And again, this is all your personal preference and how you want things to look in your inbox. The third thing that we're going to go to is your inbox. And this is how your inbox will look. And I like to keep mine as unread, starred, and then everything else. So in your inbox section, you can change it to, if you click on the options button, it will tell you, if you want important or unread first, if you want unread, if you want starred. Again, this is all your personal preference on how you want it to look. And so let me go back to my inbox and I can show you how mine looks. And so as you can see, my unread is first, my starred is second, and then everything else is basically my third category. And also if you click on here, you can hide so you don't see all the email. I like to have a clean look in my inbox. So this is another way that you can kind of hide. If you just step away from your desk for just a second, you can hide the messages in your inbox. So I like to use that as well. So we're going to go back to our settings, and we're just kind of going back and forth so I can show you the different options and what it looks like. And so make sure when you change these around, make sure you save changes at the bottom. And so that way when you log back in, the changes will be saved. The next section that I'm going to go to is under accounts. And this is basically if you have another account that you work for. 2 years ago, I believe I worked in the SAS office just to kind of help them out. And I had access to the SAS email. And so basically you can have it to where you can send email. It says send mail as. I can send it as myself, or I can send it as the SAS office. So when I compose an email, I have the option of a drop down box, and it shows if I'm sending it from myself or if I'm sending it from the SAS office. And so that's basically what the accounts are. If you have different accounts that you control, you can use that option. The next filter that we like to use is filters and blocked addresses. And this is basically like junk mail that comes through. If you don't want it going to your inbox, you can say, hey, anything that comes from Pottery Born is what I have in mind, and it'll ask you what to do with it. You can delete it. So you just click on create a new filter, and you can say, you know, who it's from or the subject, and you can set up the filter how you want it, where you want it to go. If you want it to go straight to the inbox, straight to your delete box, if you want to archive it, you have a variety of different options that you can use in the filter options. The next one that I like to use are add-ons. I actually just learned this the other day. If you click on get add-ons, there's this little, the marketplace pops up. And I know outside of ACC, I use Asana and I use Trello. And so now they have the option where you can use Asana and Trello for Gmail, which I think is awesome. I haven't clicked on it and downloaded it yet to see how it integrates with Gmail. But maybe in the next class I'll have that for you guys and I can show you how those works. But I think those are great options with that ACC is giving us more options. So I really like that one. The next one is chat. And I like to keep my chat on off. And that's your little chat that you have down here on the left hand side that a lot of people use to IM or message. I like to keep mine off only because I use Google Hangouts, and that's just another extension of Google Chrome that I like to use. And so I'll keep mine off so that way it doesn't populate twice. The other goodie that I like to use are labs, and these are some really good ones. Canned responses I like to use, and anything under the labs, make sure that you click on enable and then make sure that you save it. Make sure that you save your changes. So the first one is your canned responses, and this is basically instead of having to copy and paste every time you send out an email. Say you have new students and you're welcoming the students, you know, to ACC, you know, or for the semester. You can have it already typed up and customized for that semester. And all you have to do is insert this canned response into your email box. So we're going to go back to compose, but make sure you go ahead and enable that. Make sure you go down to the bottom and save changes. And then what it's going to do is going to just kind of reload, and then you'll go to your compose box. So if you click on, there's an option next to your delete box. There's a little drop down box and it says more options. So in this box, you have your canned responses, you have your labels or your folders, whichever term you like to use, and you also have your read receipt. So the first one that I'm going to show you in this option is our canned responses. And so in your canned responses, as you can see, I have Minty that I have been playing with. So what we're going to do is find the option where it says new canned response. And if you click on new canned response, you can label it whatever you want it to be. So I'm just going to put Computer Ninja, and then you're going to press OK. And here you can just type in your body, whatever you want it to be. And I'm just going to put some testing in here just to test it out. And then what I like to do is make sure I delete my signature, because what it'll do is it'll populate twice. And so it's already saved for me. So what I want to do is click on Computer Ninja and our testing, and as you can see, it populated, so I don't have to type it anymore, and then I can send it on to whoever I want to send it. So let's just say insert acting dean, and what it does is whatever you have your subject as and whatever you have your message to be, it'll automatically insert it so you don't have to type it again. The next one that I like to use is, I'm left-handed, so some people, if you click on right side chat, you can have it to where your chat is on the left side or the right side. But that's just another option that you can use as well. The next tab that I'm going to go to are themes. So if you click on set themes, and basically it's just your background for your email screen. And here you can pick whatever option you want, or I believe it gives you the option where you can add your own photos. And so I thought it would be fun, because I'm teaching Computer Ninja, to have Ninja as the background. But also you can make it to your own preference, or if you just want something, your own personal taste. And then of course make sure that you save it at the end so it will populate for you. Okay, another option that I want to show you guys today is if you click on your compose button, you have the option of read receipts. I noticed outside of ACC, you don't have this option for read receipts. I like to use it because we interact with a lot of students that are coming in that violate the student code of conduct. So I like to see if they've opened their email when I am inviting them to speak with the dean. So I like to use the read request option. So that's there for you as well. So I'm going to go back into my email, and I'm going to show you a couple of little options. So say if you have an email, so you'll click on your reply button here at the right, and if you see these little dots here, if you click on these dots while you're replying, if you need to refer back to the email just really quickly, these little three dots will show you the content in the email, so you don't have to stroll all the way down or go back and forth between the options. Also, I like to use, if you click on the drop box as if you're responding, it gives you the option to edit the subject, or you can pop out your reply. So those are just some little hidden things that Google has in their email as well. So we can use those. Another feature that I want you guys to do is if you pull up your Google Web Store, and we're going to download two different extensions here. And the first one is called Boomerang for Gmail, and the second one is Boomerang Calendar. So go ahead and download those, and I uninstalled it so I can kind of walk it through. And so you're going to add the extension for Boomerang, the Boomerang Calendar as well. So if you go back into your email and then just kind of reload, and then it'll give you the option to start the installing, and it'll just kind of walk you through, and you'll say yes, I want this. Boomerang is an option where it shows basically if you're in a situation where you have a deadline, and say you get all these emails in that are coming in throughout the day, and you're just focusing on your deadline. If someone sends you an evite or something and say, I need this in 2 weeks, what you can do is have that email boomerang back to you. And so let's go back to my email. And so what I can do is on my email, I can pick and say, hey, this is not due for another 2 weeks. I'm focusing on my deadline right now. So you click on the boomerang option, and that's that little rainbow boomerang, and it's basically telling you that, hey, you're going to send it out there and it's going to come back to you. And so I like boomerang because it does just that. So I can say, send this back to me as a new email. I can have it sent back to me in an hour, in 2 hours, in 2 weeks, in a month, and you can personalize it. And all you have to do is say, click confirm. And so what I did is have this come back to me on Monday morning at 8 o'clock. And what you do is you click confirm, and the little screen comes up and it'll say, okay, it's been confirmed. So the email will come back to you whatever time that you set it up. So I like that option. Also, boomerang, you don't have to be at your computer to send emails. So if you want to compose an email, at the very bottom, there's a red box that says send later. So at the very bottom of your email, you can type it up and say you're going to be gone, but you want to remind your staff something. You can say, hey, send this to them at, Wednesday at 3 o'clock. So you can say, type up your email, whatever you need it to be, and you can say send later. And then it also gives you the option of what day and time you want it to send. So you don't have to physically be at your desk to send out those emails. So I like that option as well. And that's what Boomerang is all about. And Boomerang Calendar is kind of the same thing. It only works if the person you're sending the email to has Boomerang Calendar as well. But that's just a different way to where you can see their calendar and they can know if you're available or if they are available. So I like to use Google Calendar in certain instances.